How are lists and tree diagrams used to represent a sample space? That is our question we're going to look at. So some vocabulary to add in. Sample spaces are the set of all possible outcomes of a game, an experiment, or other situation. Experiment. And sample space just means that we are figuring out our first, if we look at these coins, we're looking at heads and tails. So the first time we toss a coin, we can get heads or we can get tails. The second time we toss a coin, our sample space changes because we can get heads the first time and heads the second time. So we end up with heads, comma, heads. This may be hard to see on yours. You also could start with heads the first time, but then get tails the second time, which leads you into heads, comma, tails. If you had a tails the first time, the second time you could get heads, and that gives you tails, comma, heads. And if you had tails the first time and tails the second time, then you would get tails, comma, tails. This right here is what we call a tree diagram. And this is what we call a list. So when we're looking at sample space, you can write that either way.